Good Saturday morning, everyone. I hope that you guys are all enjoying your morning and having a wonderful, blessed time. I hope that you guys are doing well. I'm freezing. I don't know why, but I am so cold. Um, it is a cooler day, but normally by now it's already like in the 70s. It's 9 o'clock, I think. It might already be in the 70s. I'm not sure, but for some reason I'm freezing. Like I've been wearing shorts excuse me, shorts or, like dresses, skirts, whatever, with shorts. Um, Most days recently, there's only been a couple days where I've worn like a pair of warm ups or like leggings. Today is a legging day with socks, and I almost put my hoodie on. Like, I'm still cold, and you can see I've kind of covered this differently. These are some blackout curtains. It is helping. I still feel the heat a little bit. Um, this seat that I sit on, you can't put anything behind it like that's long. It's kind of more stuck to the wall than that other side. I don't know how to explain it. So I have this little it was like a tablecloth. It will eventually go on my desk, but I thought it was cute, so I put it up there. I don't know if like how well you could see that, but yeah. And this one has a purple curtain. They're all hanging funky. I think I even filmed some that of what I did when I put them up. They're all just up with magnets, and for now, until we figure out exactly what we want to do with the panels that we're going to make. Um, yeah, it's been slow going. It's been a fun summer though. Even with all the appointments and everything, it's been nice to do things. So once, time starts changing, we'll be home a lot more. Even though I'm already cold and just want to snuggle up. I literally, like, this morning, normally what I do is when I get up and get my coffee, I make the bed, um, and then I'll go get my coffee and, go sit down to read the Bible and all of that. I made the bed, put my little desk, table, whatever, on there, and then the coffee wasn't ready at the time, so I sat down and thought, no, I'm freezing. I sat there for a while reading, and I was really cold. So when I went in to get coffee, when I came back, I got under the covers instead. And I was like, forget it. I'll remake the bed later. So yeah, it's been an interesting morning for me to be so cold, and I'm still haven't warmed up. It's like I've kind of been feeling, I guess, kind of like that over the last few days, where I'll just get these cold spells, where it just feels like the cold gets into my bones. I'm sure it's the weather, with all the storms around us. We haven't gotten all of them here, but I've noticed just the change in the weather, like, yeah, the pressure changes with the storms that are going on. Yesterday I had that, like, I get this, like, feeling like, when you go up in elevation, if you're not used to being, high up in the mountains or whatever, it just feels like there's pressure on your chest to breathe. I get like that with some of the storms. Not all the time, but it depends. Some I do. Part of that, I think, is just to do with allergies, and I don't know. I know that somewhere I read that fibromyalgia can kind of like cause that. I guess it's something to do with the inflammation that fibroarthritis, all of those things can cause in the body. And I think I'm just dealing with a lot of that flare up right now. So yeah, it's just kind of, it's bad. It's bad. The pain has been really bad. Um, I filmed that I had done, this curtain change, I guess, and they're not heavy, but I do have to, like, stand like up high, like kind of reach a little higher, like the ones that I can't reach. I have been doing, because there's some that I'm not gonna be able to do. um but I like doing stuff like this, so I'm doing them slowly still, but over a few days I had gone through some of my tubs with Bibles and that, just to kind of figure out what I've got. And I have a little stack that I will be giving away. And just doing that, just getting like a book from here to here, doing this kind of thing, my body is hurting so bad. I know part of that's the weather, part of that I think is a flare up of all of the things. But it was to the point yesterday that when we left here about, I don't know, probably like 12:30, to go get some groceries from my in-laws. I had to go pick up books at the library, and I think I may have filmed some of that. So I may stick that together with this. I'm not sure. But happy August, by the way. It is August 1st. I do want to try to get this out today because it seems like I'm always late on the happy the first of the month kind of thing. So I'm going to try to get this out today. We'll see, because I'm kind of giving myself some every other day uploads just because it's been so crazy. But anyway, what else did I do yesterday? There was something else I did and I can't remember what. Oh, we had to get Ben a new phone. So we got that set up. So I was at T-Mobile for quite some time. It wasn't that long. It wasn't as long as I expected. They had people there, but it wasn't like an extremely long wait. However, I had to go back because in the process of getting it set up, the SIM card wasn't activated. So I had to go back, but they were pretty quick and they were really helpful. So I was grateful for that. So now he has his phone exactly like mine, which is works good. So we both kind of know how to work them. We're like Android people here. And so we just we had to do that. His phone was broken and the service that he had was just like really shoddy. So we finally did this. He's had that same phone since 2023. And I think mine I had since 2022, the end of 2022. He got his like early 2023. And we both had to change our phones this year. So yeah, we were holding on to our old ones. And then we've had truck repairs. We got the AC done, which I talked about. Now we have to take the car in for a oil change, and I still haven't been able to get my glasses. I'm just like $484 just for the lenses is going to be so hard because I cannot, insurance will not cover this until next year. And I just am having a hard time. Like even now, it's really hard to read. Even like certain paper, like glossy paper, it just is harder to read. Even some of the Bibles don't necessarily have glossy paper. Like this one's not really glossy, but there's something to do with the way the sun or the light hits it at certain times that I have to kind of like figure out a way to, set myself up. And the thing with that is like there's not a lot of the Bibles that I have right now, like that I'm using, that are in a large print, or giant print or whatever. Like for instance, this one is not it's not very small. I'm not even sure what it is. It doesn't say, but let me see if I can hold it. My hands are hurting. This is a daily one, and it's probably like an 8-point font because it's not the smallest, but it's still hard sometimes to read. And so a lot of the ones, I'm not sure what this one is. This one's actually not too bad. This one's probably the 8.5 or 9 or something, but a lot of the ones I have were the smaller print. And for study Bibles and that, it's been harder to find larger print. Like this one I have I think this one's a giant print, but it's not a study Bible. It's just a regular Bible. It's a New King James. It's really beautiful though. It's, and I can read it. The one, like I said, with this though, I don't think you can tell, but if you see, it kind of looks funny in this lighting, but when the light hits it, this pages are a little glossy, so there's like this glare. And I don't know, do you guys have issues with reading? Because I'm really not liking this getting older thing for that reason. I don't mind being older. I actually enjoy, which is really weird, I enjoy the season of life that I'm in right now. There's a lot of things that have come with it, a lot of growing up, a lot of maturing, a lot of learning about myself, and a lot of learning how not to care about other people's opinions. There's a lot of things that I hate about this season, like not having my mom around, things like that. But overall, and health issues, of course, you know, they seem to worsen as we get a little older. So with chronic illness, chronic pain like illnesses, they do get a little worse with the wear and tear on your body, you know, like arthritis, like stuff like that. But overall, I really do enjoy it. I'm grateful that I am 48. It's interesting because there's a lot of things that I don't feel compelled to care about. And even still, we still fall into some of the trendy things and all of that, especially with all the trends going on with skincare and stuff like that. And I think that's really important. But there's times it's like, I just want this and I want that and I need this, because with weight loss and that, I've gotten, like I've talked about before, the little wrinkles, and I have like still, sometimes it drives me crazy. It drives me more crazy because I know when I'm like puffy, it's because I'm having a flare up of whether it is related to allergies, Hashimoto's, which autoimmune response. That's what drives me crazy, because I know something's going on, and it's kind of like waiting for that moment where you really don't feel well, where the migraine hits and all of that. So I'm trying to be better about tracking. As a matter of fact, and of course, I don't have them in here. They're in the car. Yesterday, I had shown these. I think I showed this one already too. But there was things like this from the Happy Planner that I got at Savers a while back. These are $1.99. I found some smaller ones that are about half this size yesterday. I don't know if they were Happy Planner or not, but they're trackers for different things. So I want to use that for just trackers of how I'm feeling, so maybe I can figure out what the heck my triggers are, as far as like what I'm eating, what's going on in the environment, so that I know that, okay, so if the pollen's high, I know that I'm probably going to have a flare-up of allergies. But there's other things, even just if I spray a certain perfume or something, I want to know, is this really causing problems? Because I would really like to kind of have less bad days. And I know that it's not like, excuse me, I felt like if I'm going to figure out every trigger and I'm going to be able to control everything. I think for me, it's just having the information and maybe lessening my chances of having a flare up, or even just being aware so it doesn't catch me by surprise. So it's like, oh, well, if you're already feeling like this, like I noticed, I've been yawning a lot lately in my videos. Part of it is I am tired sometimes, but I was watching on Instagram some of the, not triggers, but the symptoms maybe of an oncoming migraine. One of the girls was talking about yawning a lot, that it just, something in your body is causing this, and then, you know, it could be a day later or 2 days later that the migraine pain hits. And like I've talked about before, I don't get the migraine pain all the time. Sometimes I just get all the rest of it and just have more like a pressure in my head, which I do have today. So I'm going to try to take it easy. Just take the car in, get the oil change. And then I got the hiccups. Love the GLP-1 injections. I took it yesterday, and So when I get full, anytime I get full of, eating whatever, I get the hiccups. When I take my injection the next day, even having coffee, and I've only had this much of my coffee cup, somehow it'll trigger that fullness feeling. So I get the hiccups. It's such an interesting, it's just interesting. It's funny to me how our body reacts to different things. And we're all different, But yeah, I just thought I'd get on here and vent a little and chat a little about all the things. And share with you today I read let's see, what did I read today? I read John 12:20 through 50. And I noticed this was talking about the Passover celebration that was about to happen. It was talking about some Greeks who had come to Jerusalem for the Passover celebration, paid a visit to Philip, who was from Bethsaida, I think that's how you say it, in Galilee. They said, "Sir, we want to meet Jesus." Philip told Andrew about it, and they went together and asked Jesus. Jesus replied, "Now the time has come for the Son of Man to enter his glory. I tell you the truth, unless a kernel of wheat is planted in the soil and dies, it remains alone. But its death will produce many new kernels, and a plentiful harvest of new lives. Those who love their life in this world will lose it. Those who care nothing for their life in this world will keep it for eternity. Anyone who wants to be my disciple must follow me, because my servants must be where I am, and the Father will honor anyone who serves me." And so that section really got me thinking about season of life, right? And how it says here, those who care nothing for their life in this world will keep it for eternity. Now, it doesn't mean those who don't care about themselves, those who don't take care of themselves, those who take too many chances with their life, or it isn't about that. I want to look it up in this Bible, which I think this one is. This is an NIV. The one I'm reading out of is an NLT. It's 12. See, this one's broken up, so I gotta find where I'm at exactly. Okay, 20. And that was. Sometimes it's so hard to read. I can't see right. It's like, it drives me nuts. For some reason, it seems like I'm missing the spot. 27. Okay. I went to 47. I think I saw it wrong the first time. It was a little above that. Okay, here we go. Anyone who loves their life will lose it, while anyone who hates their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, my servant also will be. My Father will honor the one who serves me. And we read that and we think he wants us to hate our life. He wants us to not care about ourselves, but that's not it. It's about not being so worried about this life. This is all we want. This is all we care about. We want to hold on so tightly to this world that we forget about eternity. We forget about who we serve. We forget that we need to surrender it all to him. And this is just a moment in time. It's fleeting. And this life is fleeting. Even at 100 years, if we live that long, it still goes by too fast. Like I know people who, like my dad's parents, my grandparents, I think my grandma was she was in her 90s when she passed away. That still didn't seem like a long life. We look at it like, 90 years is a long time, when we're looking forward at it. But when we know someone who's lived that long, or if we even live that long, you hear people talk about it all the time. It's not that much time. It's not enough time. It's not enough time. But we have eternity to look forward to. And I think that's where when we worry too much and we hold on so tightly to this life, it's just, we may lose eternity, because that's where we become willing to do things to keep this life, to keep people in this life happy, to kind of live a life where we just do anything to make it exciting, anything to make it like the best thing ever. We will hoard on all of our things and not give anyone anything or not share anything with anyone because we're holding on too tightly. And I think that's, I may be wrong, but that's how I interpret this. Just realizing that what's important is eternal life, not the one we're living right now. As important as this life is, it's important to live this life to glorify the Lord. And in doing so, we surrender those things. We do things now that glorify Him and lead other people to Him. And I think when we are loving this life too much, you notice we become very prideful, very egotistical, and everything's about us and not about Him or other people. And that's the biggest issue with that. This is already 21 minutes long, so let me see. The other thing I've read in the same section is where it's talking about where the prophet Isaiah had shared where the Lord had blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts so that their eyes cannot see and their hearts cannot understand, and they cannot turn to me and have me heal them. So here's talking about where Isaiah was referring to Jesus because he had seen the future and spoke of the Messiah's glory. Many people did not believe in him, however, including many people did believe in him, however, including some of the Jewish leaders, but they wouldn't admit it for fear that the Pharisees would expel them from the synagogue, for they loved human praise more than praise of God. So when you go into the footnotes here, it'll tell you that John 12:40, where it talks about blinding their eyes, refers back to Isaiah 6:10. And when I read that, you read the context of what's going on. These people were rebelling. This is when they were being rebellious already. They were already looking more to people for approval than they were looking to Him. So this is just part of that. This is just the consequences of being rebellious. You're given over to your hardening of your own heart. So He hardens your heart. You're already doing it. He just it's almost like, I guess how I see it is kind of like when we're sinful and we go and we do something we know is against God. We know we're sinning. We know we're doing something wrong. And we repent, right? And He forgives us and we move on. But then we do it again. And we do it again. And we do the same thing over and over and over again because we are so worried about what other people think. We kind of like, it's kind of like, I don't know, what would be something like, let's say for you shouldn't be out getting drunk every night or every weekend or whatever, right? It's detrimental to your health, detrimental to your life, your existence, your family, you'll see how all the consequences come up when you do these things over and over again, right? So He's calling you back from these sins, whatever they are. What could be that? It could be anything. And the Holy Spirit convicts you. You come back. You go again and do the same thing. Come back. Knowing full well you shouldn't do it. We do make mistakes. We do fall. We're going to fail every single time. The thing is when we know that we're doing wrong, we go into it knowing we're doing wrong. Like we kind of, the first time, maybe even the second time you make a mistake, you fall into it without being fully aware of what's going on. But then after that, you're kind of like, you know already, and you choose to do it anyway. You choose to do it because they loved human praise more than the praise of God. And we do the same thing. Well, if I say no to my friends who are doing such and such thing, Or if I say I can't do that because I've changed my life and I'm serving the Lord and this goes against his word. I can't agree with what you're doing because it's he says no. He said the truth is black and white. It doesn't mean we hate them. It doesn't mean like none of that. Our love for these people does not change. Our lives change. We pull ourselves out of situations that we know are against the Lord. But that's when Satan hits, right? That's when you hear, oh, you just think you're too good for us. Oh, you just think that you know better. You think this, you think that. But it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with we have been convicted of such and such things. We are trying to walk the path of the truth. But when we care more about what humans think, we just compromise. And when we compromise over and over and over again, eventually we become blind to the sin. Our hearts become hardened towards the Lord. And we continue down a path of destruction. And we see it in the lives around us. We see it in our own lives. And if you're aware of it, if you're aware of your downfalls, of the things that tempt you, and you know to stay away from those things, or do your best to stay away from those things, do your best to say no. And it's so hard. It's hard, especially when you love the people that you used to do these very same things with, that now you don't want to do anymore for the reasons I've stated already. You know, you have given your life to the Lord, you repented, you want to change, you want to better yourself. I mean, it's even at that, let's like take the word out of it. Let's take God out of that whole situation, because I know a lot of people are like, when they see the word and they see all that and you're changing your life, they're like, oh, now you think you're, the Christian, whatever, right? But let's say it even has to do with just everyday stuff. So let's say you're a big soda drinker and you are going to quit drinking soda for your health because it's starting to affect you, right? But you have friends that you guys used to go out on, like, to get a soda together. So now when you go to these places, you get water instead, or you get unsweetened tea or something like that. And the first thing, oh, why are you drinking that? I thought we were going to get soda. Don't you like soda anymore? And so you explain to them why you're not doing that, or why you're not eating a certain thing anymore. Even if that certain thing you're not eating anymore has something to do with the fact that it's really literally hurting you. Like for me, I have allergies to certain foods and intolerances to slow down. Intolerance to certain foods, I still said it, that I used to eat all the time. So now if I say, no, I can't have that, immediately it's like I'm wanting to, I don't know, put myself above someone else because I don't do that anymore. But it's literally hurting me. And no matter what the explanation is, no matter how you say, well, but I made it for you, and I can't, and at the beginning it's understandable because maybe they don't know, that you're barely learning this yourself or whatever. But once it's been discussed, it's been done, right? Then the next time the same thing happens, and what do? Do you continue to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't? Or do you give in and say, fine, this time, because they're just never going to understand and they're going to have their feelings hurt and I don't want them to be mad at me. So you take, let's say, a food that you know you're allergic to, or at least have a intolerance to that will make you sick. So you take it, you eat it because they give it to you, and the next couple of days you're sick. You're gonna have to recover, but you can't say anything, because if you say, hey, they call you the next day and they're like, well, how are you doing today? Well, I got sick. I'm not feeling too good. My stomach hurts or whatever. Oh, what's wrong? And you say, well, I ate such and such thing yesterday and now my body's reacting to it. And immediately it's like you're they believe you are trying to hurt their feelings. It's their fault because they gave it to you. Even though it's the same thing. They already knew. They still put you on the spot. So we already know how that goes, right? We have to stand firm in the word. We have to stand firm in the fact that if you are allergic to something and somebody gives it to you, you can say, thank you very much. I really appreciate the gift, but I can't eat this. Or you can take it and give it to someone else. If they're in front of you and they want you to eat there, then you can say, I cannot. I'm going to get sick, whatever. And just say no. Eventually, hopefully, they will learn. Eventually, hopefully, your friends from the life that you lived before, if they're, especially when they were extremely close or family, will understand and well enough that you have changed your life. And instead of making you feel bad about it, they'll just either inquire about why and actually want to know more, or they'll leave it alone. And most of the time, God will cut these people out of your life, because either they will not be able to deal with your new way of living, or if you stay attached to them, you will fall right back in. And it is the hardest thing to know and to have to deal with the fact that some people will not want to talk to you anymore because you are a Christian now. As tolerant as they may be, or as tolerant as they say that they are, as as inclusive as people say they are now, it's not always the case, and we have to be prepared for that. And reading these stories about how Jesus was hated for who he was, and he still gave his life for every single one of us, and everyone who puts us down, and everyone who puts them down, and every single person, doesn't matter what they've done or who they are, he gave his life for them, awaiting the day that hopefully they will repent and run to him. And it really got me thinking about my life and how I've struggled with people pleasing for a very long time. I still struggle with it. And it's interesting because that's what Saul taught me. And then I saw this, and it was like right there, human praise. They loved human praise more than the praise of God. And just these little things that I'm reading, it's just like over and over reminding me of what I need to change in my life and how to change it. And I'm going to leave you with this one last thought. I did read through Psalm 118, 19 through 29, which is really good. So if you have a chance, read that today. Psalm 118, 19 through 29, or read the whole thing. This is just the portion that was for today in this Bible. And then Proverbs 15, 27 and 28. So I'm going to leave you with 28. The heart of the godly thinks carefully before speaking. The mouth of the wicked overflows with evil words. When we stop and think about how we respond to those people in our lives who maybe constantly put us down or make fun of us, or ever so politely make comments about how we live or whatever. And then I'm saying this from either a newer Christian perspective, that you're walking into it, or I've been walking this path my whole life and I still have the same thing happen to me. We have to think carefully before we speak, how we talk to them, how we treat them. Think. Do not just let word vomit come out, because if we read here, the mouth of the wicked overflows with evil words. If we allow what they say to us to get us all up in our feelings, and what is going to come out of our mouth is evil words, we are going to do the same thing that they're doing, or worse. We got to check ourselves, think carefully about the words that come out of our mouths, pray, and surrender to the Lord. And I know that it sounds like a lot of stuff at one time, especially when they're in your face. But in that moment, while they're, overflowing their mouth with evil words, take a breath and say, Lord, help me to say the right words, or to say nothing at all, to smile and walk away. And later on, if you have the chance and the opportunity presents itself, then you can share his love with them, and maybe share how it makes you feel. Whether they'll take it or not, who knows. All right, guys, I gotta go finish getting ready because we got to take the car in for an oil change. I have to be there by 10:45, and it's probably already after 9 o'clock. Probably like 9:30. So I better go finish up, and I will hopefully get this put up sometime today. So happy August 1st. I hope that your month is wonderful. I will be back probably within the next couple days with my August reading plan. So you guys can see, and I would love to know what you guys are reading this month. You doing any Bible studies, any scripture writing, or is there like certain even books, fiction books, whatever you guys are reading? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you. Bye.